Your second stimulus check questions are answered, but what will happen to that first check? Will you receive it with a second check as well? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today with great, exciting news, especially if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veteran benefits. This video is the one in which we answer your incredible questions, over 2,000 of them yesterday, in yesterday's video, which had almost 8,000 likes. Let's see if they can get to this one to 10,000 likes. Really great, exciting news. You've seen it across the board today. Let me get to the confirmations and then go over the big questions that you and I have really still about the second stimulus check. First, we now know as of today, Sunday, that the second stimulus check will be coming to you. There's going to be a check. It's going to land at $1,200 for the non-dependents. More about the dependents in a second. The funds will land with you in August, not in July and not in September. So that's really great news. It's going to get routed faster than originally believed. It will be part of a second stimulus package, that whole box of chocolates. It'll be one of the chocolates in the box, and ultimately it won't be piecemealed as the Democrats vowed against. We will wait for the entire vote for it, which will likely come in the next 2 weeks. We have this week and we have the week after it. So around August 7th or August 8th, but the check would land in your account within the month therein. So really great news. We also have other confirmations. That stupid cap is gone, and I don't mean baseball cap. I mean the cap from that guy in Kentucky. That stupid cap of $40,000, 2019 earnings. I don't even have to say it anymore, but I'm going to say it one last time. That cap is gone. It's not happening. So the way the caps would work is the same as the original first stimulus check. Those caps were about stimulus checks were due to people who made individually $78,000, approximately 2019 earnings or less. If it's husband and wife, then we double it. Those numbers are going to stay intact. And by the way, there was an additional step up in the first stimulus check, which I always forget, which says if you made more than that, you'll get a stimulus check, but just a little bit less. So that's all going to stay there. That's the great real confirmation today. The issues that are still very fluid and unanswered, but we'll see them tomorrow when the Republicans finally debut their second stimulus package, because Mitch McConnell has been kicked to the curb and Steve Mnuchin is taking the bull on the horns with the White House. We will see several issues answered, which you and I don't know the answer to, and I freely admit them. The issue of dependence, the issue about the check of dependence, and the issue about adult dependence. Finally, the issue about do you have to do a non-filer filing, which I think we sort of know the answer, but it's not yet confirmed. Okay, let's get to the dependents. That's the big question. As you know, the first stimulus package said no check to adult dependents 18 years of age or older. What is an adult dependent? It's someone who appears on someone else's tax return as a dependent. And the first stimulus package, Congress said, they literally said, we messed up. We made a mistake by putting adult dependents 18 years of older not getting his first stimulus check. We made a mistake. Of course, when they made the mistake, they didn't send you a check later on. So, a few weeks later, they said, okay, we'll make amends in the second stimulus package. We will ensure that you do get a second stimulus check. The Democrats have it in their proposal. The Republicans, we don't know. And the reason we don't know is because there's 3 people I am not happy with this week. And one is Mitch McConnell. I'm never happy with Larry Kudlow. And the third one is the news reporters. They're literally not asking this question of Steve Mnuchin, who's freely happy to answer your questions this weekend. He is just a chatterbox of information. But they're not asking him, okay, what are you doing about adult dependence? So we just don't know. It's just like hazard pay. They're not asking him that question as well. So we don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Second, we don't know what is going on with child dependence and their check. As you know, the first stimulus package didn't give child dependents a full check. It gave them a watered-down check, a partial check. It was $500. It wasn't $1,200. It was $500. Democrats don't want to do that either. They just want to give $1,200 to everyone. So how do the Democrats propose to do it? They do it as up to 5 checks on one joint tax return. Let me explain basically how you do this. So if it's an individual, a check. If it's a husband and wife, a double check. If it's a husband and wife and 3 kids, 5 checks, but sent a single check that's 5 times the amount sent to the house. If there is a husband and wife and 4 kids, the 4th kid doesn't get a check. If there's a husband and wife, 2 kids, and an adult dependent, that's still 5, they all get checks. Ultimately, the Democrats say, hey, we are not going to pay a 4th dependent. I don't care if it's a youth dependent or an adult dependent. Our proposal is not to pay the 4th dependent. We just don't know if the Republicans are doing this as well. So great news. The bad news is the reporters just don't ask the questions. We would have had this answer today, but we don't. So we have to wait till tomorrow about what's going to happen with dependents. Of course, the really, really great bombshell news that no one saw coming was Steve Mnuchin said, this is a second stimulus package, but there will likely be and could be a 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th stimulus check. I was just like, oh my goodness, where did this come from? Hallelujah. I mean, bring out the choir behind me. I just can't believe that I'm hearing this. You have all been screwed over by those wonderful people named Congress who promised you multiple checks in the spring and didn't give them to you because they said that we'll get to them later. They never got to them later. They got to their vacation and their Mai Tai and their feet in the jacuzzi. Here we are in July. Some states are in partial lockdown. Some states are heading to full lockdown. Okay, so they give you a check for August. If you're on full lockdown September, what's going to happen? Congress is going to get back to this, next year, and you're going to have to struggle for a few more months? No, Steve Mnuchin saying we will come back and get more checks and get them issued, if so be it. Well, that is just incredible, great news. Now, you can, call whoever you want to call anyone, and I saw a lot of profanity in the comments yesterday and today. I mean, I know a lot of you are pissed. I'm pissed too. A lot of comments of calling, different people from different parties, a lot of words because you were pissed, you were owed multiple checks, you're furious about the $1,200, you're furious about Donald Trump saying he was going to give you a generous check, more than $1,200. He said the Democrats aren't paying you enough at $1,200. He wanted to give you a generous check and wanted to give you more. You had a lot of profanity about that as well. So let's tone down the profanity a little bit, please. But anyway, yeah, you could take whatever his comments are, Steve Mnuchin, with a grain of salt. If you don't believe him, you don't believe him. But I think it's really great moving the compass. I mean, he's basically saying, hey, we need multiple checks for the American public because one check may not cut it if this pandemic goes on. I mean, this is just a total breakthrough. So one of the questions I literally get every 10 seconds. I mean, let me give you is the child support question. You're behind on child support. Will that be taken out of the second stimulus check? I mean, the video went live earlier today on the stimulus check at about 3 o'clock. Within 10 minutes, the first 5 comments was, will child support be taken out of the second stimulus check? Will child support be taken out of the second stimulus check? Will child support be taken? I mean, literally, bam, bam, bam. And, I've answered that question so many times. Okay, so here we are. As to the Republicans, we don't know the answer. I'm freely going to admit we don't have that answer. Apparently, that's also not a question the news reporters want to ask Steve Mnuchin about. But the Democrats have said no, their proposal does not allow money to be taken out of the second stimulus check for child support or for federal taxes or for state taxes. It can't be looted by anything. As I have told you, the Democrats have only set you up to be looted by one group of people. Banks. So if you're receiving your second stimulus check by direct deposit and you're into an account that you're negative on and you owe fees to your bank, the bank can take those fees from you. So get that fixed right away. If you are a non-filer filer and you filed a non-filer filer, which is really a hard expression to say, earlier this year, you don't have to do it again. A lot of people keep on asking that, which is so great. It means that people are on top of everything. So let me get to some of your questions. James, what a form of abuse the Senate is putting American people through. I love that. Very well said. Sabrina, let Mitch walk in one of our shoes. Maybe he'll do something. Chad, Mitch is not going to get voted back in. He's going to be unemployed. Yes, and when he's unemployed, don't pay his $600 per week. Russell Starner, Mitch McConnell, wouldn't be surprised if he's always been a deep state member for all of his political life. Scott, all these guys need to be replaced. Vote them out. Spectre, what about extension of PPL? I don't know what PPL is. I mean, that's what I used to do when I launched this channel. I said PPI and PPUL and PPEA. I was like, I couldn't get the names right. I don't know what PPL is. Sorry. Penny Guinness, they're not worried about us poor people. They really aren't. But I do have to say that 50% of the time Steve Mnuchin sounds great. Other 50% he just sounds like he's off the deep end. But I mean, Steve Mnuchin said it was horrible that some of you have not received your first stimulus check. But then he didn't give clarity as to really why that situation happened. He said that you're going to get your first stimulus check in the next couple of weeks, and he apologized you had not received it, but he didn't explain why you hadn't received it. Angel, they're buying time at our expense. Kenneth, he doesn't give a darn about the families and be evicted. Oh, boy. I mean, if you watched my video, I wanted to, reach through the camera and hug everyone. The White House came through on that one. Steve Mnuchin said and Larry Kudlow, the patron saint of this channel, I say facetiously, literally said on Sunday morning news, we are backing a rent eviction moratorium. I was just speechless. My whole jaw dropped. I read the sentence 3 times. I'm like, did you really just say that? So yeah, if you didn't watch our 4th video, bombshell. Really, you can put the word confirmed as big as you want to put it. They are backing a rent eviction moratorium, which actually was in the first stimulus package. So they're saying we're extending it further. Now, they're not saying they're going to give you free rent money, but they are extending the law that will prohibit your landlord from evicting you during the pandemic. I mean, that is just really, really amazingly great news. Barbara, I'm not happy with Mitch. He needs to go. He is going. Mariah, I think Mitch McConnell has a dementia test. He does. Kevin, I found your channel recently. You're the only one who sounds like he knows what's going on. I am. I research my stuff. I have a background in this. I understand what's going on. I'm trying to go into incredible detail. I'm not trying to filter. We all talked about that New York Times article. You saw it, and I talked about it earlier today. There was that horrible New York Times article that was all based upon conjecture and speculation and junk. It was just gossipy. It was very like Real Housewives. I heard that you said that maybe the Republicans are going to do this, and it was actually all had been denied by Steve Mnuchin by the time the story came out. Most of it, and the rest of it that was true. We already knew it was true. I mean, we already knew the Republicans were going to do 70% FPUC. So it's like, what is this stupid article in the New York Times? And, a lot of people ran with it. And I'm like, this is salacious politics. I don't know what the word is for salacious. If there was a double word, salacious. It's just salacious politics. This is ridiculous. I'm losing my home. There's going to be a lot of homeless people very soon. Jessica, no. The great news for you, Jessica, you're not. The Republicans will include in that rent forbearance or rent moratorium rule a mortgage forbearance, which would basically say banks cannot foreclose on you unable to pay your mortgage during the pandemic. So you will be saved under the Republicans as well. Joe Burba, I'm a Republican. Mitch needs to go. He's not for the people. Mitch is destroying his own party. I'm going to be doing, after this video, please watch it, a sketch. And you'll get to meet Mitch McConnell face to face. He sat down for an interview with me. Spectre, one more check. Isn't going to make it. Is not going to make it. Not going to make it. Ramona, I wish we would hurry up. Agree. Annette, I'm sick and tired of being freaking played with by these fools. That's sort of the topic of the next video. Melinda, the problem with our government is that they've never cared to have lived on a fixed income. Okay, here's a rant. Most of these elected officials are lifetime politicians. They never worked a darn day in their life. They don't know what it is to work for a paycheck. They have used government as their paycheck their entire life. They started locally, then they went to a state level, then they went to a federal level. They have worked off of federal or state funds their entire life. They do not know what it is to actually work a real job. And so they're out of touch with the American public, and they're out of touch with the working citizen. Gerald, they just need to give what Canada's giving. Dennis, beware Mitch McConnell when God humbles you, my friend. Alexis, Mitch should have introduced his package on last Monday. Mitch should have introduced his package in May. The Democrats had their package ready in May. We knew the pandemic was going on in May. What was Mitch doing in May? This is July. We're almost in August. I mean, that's really what happened if you didn't grasp what I was talking about in the other videos today. The White House understood that Mitch McConnell was bringing them down in flames. That when Mitch McConnell on a Friday afternoon said to Broadcast News, I will have a second stimulus package ready for you in 2 to 3 weeks from now, after the week before he said he was going to have it that week. Not only is it contradicting, but it's insane. It's insane. Everyone's being thrown out of the house. They can't make money. They can't eat food. And he said, I'll get to you in 3 weeks. I'm going home. See you next week. See you next Monday. As the viewer said, it does sound like dementia. It sounds like someone who really has lost his marbles. Elizabeth, well, it seems like he's not going to be elected back. Linda, there are no jobs to apply for, and they're still closing doors. Very well said. Maybe Mitch can't handle his job. Michelle, the Republicans and Democrats have truly shown no one cares for anyone. I agree. Paula, this ship is sinking fast like the Titanic. Linda, should have shown what the Democrats had back in May 3rd. Several checks. Jamie, people are going to remember this on Election Day. They will. I hope you show up on Election Day. Show up on Election Day and vote these bastards out. They are bastards. They don't care about you. They really don't care about you. They care about collecting a check and getting retirements and going to the congressional buffet every lunch and putting their feet up and watching old episodes of, I don't know, whatever the hell they watch. Ramonica, not Ramona, but Ramonica. We need to start praying for him because he's heartless with no love. Brenda, I really don't understand. Do these people realize that we pay them? They don't realize that they can lose an election in a heartbeat, or maybe they don't care. Maybe they figure they've made enough money off the federal government with their stupid non-work that they can just ride off in the sunset and collect their benefits. I mean, maybe that's their plan. Marie, sounds like he's not getting his way. Vote him out. He is. Mitch is half gone out the door. Matt Silver, Canada this. Maybe Barbara, maybe he has dementia. Another person thinks he has dementia. Lawrence, Mitch McConnell's delaying him. That's a big word. I can't even read it. Are on Anita's stimulus package raise expectations. Cheryl, love to listen to you. Make me laugh. I'm on Social Security. I need the stimulus check. If you like a laugh, watch our next video. Stay positive, stay motivated, stay focused, and stay smiling. I mean, I brought you through all the thick and thins. We've been dragged with this horrible group of congressional people. I'll call them leaders. They're not leaders. And we're getting out on the other side. So stay with me, stay positive, and stay with LA for more.